The time now is 11 p.m. Our headlines. Home Ministry sees 1.1 million ringgit in adult toys, 7 new border security posts to be built in Sarawak, and the second phase of the RAHMAH cash aid to be dispersed by mid-April. Hello there, you're now with me, Douglas Elliott, and you're now watching TVS Nightline. We begin with this. The Home Ministry KDN has seized 22,926 adult toys worth 1.1 million ringgit following a raid on a warehouse in Bukit Mertajam, Penang on February 15. According to Division Secretary Nikyu Saimi Yusof, a 29-year-old woman who admitted to be the business owner of the banned items, which are sold online, was arrested to facilitate in the investigation. It was believed that the suspect began her online business last year, and the warehouse was originally registered as a storage unit. Various banned items believed to have been brought in from China were seized, and they were sold online at prices ranging from 70 ringgit to 450 ringgit. The case would be investigated under Section 7(1) of the Printing Presses and Publications Act 1984 and Section 292A of the Penal Code. 7 new General Operations Force posts will be erected in efforts to bolster security along the Malaysia-Kalimantan borders. In addition, 77 kilometers of security patrol roads are being planned to be built from Teluk Melano Lundu right down to Srikin in Bau to ensure the implementation of tasks at the border can be carried out smoothly and effectively. The ministry will also carry out some restructuring of the GOF by creating a new battalion, the 23rd GOF Battalion in Sri Aman, Sarawak. The 7 posts include Post Raso in Lundu, Post Stars in Bau, Post Sapit in Palawan, and Post Tepoy in Serian. The second phase of the RAHMAH Cash Aid SDR will be dispersed by mid-April. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim said that as of Monday, March 13, a total of 320,103 individuals have registered and received the aid.
Saya minta dipohon segera sebelum 31 Mac supaya dapat dikeluarkan dana ini pada bulan Ramadan. InsyaAllah.
On the improvement made to the Sumbangan Tunai Rahmah, Anwar said hardcore poor families and groups are eligible to receive aid up to 3,100 as announced during the retabling of Budget 2023. Under the revised budget, Phase 1 of the aid for the B40 group is given to households with an income of less than 2,500 ringgit who are eligible to receive aid up to 2,500 ringgit based on the number of children.
The BETONG Division Development Agency BDDA is focusing on eradicating poverty in BETONG Division, aside from developing its infrastructure. Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dato Amar Douglas Uga Umbas said, even though BETONG is experiencing infrastructure development, efforts are being made to ensure that no communities are left behind.
We must make sure that while our infrastructure is developed, while all these are developed, we are developing the people. One of our focus areas is to make sure that kalau ada masih kelompok-kelompok yang dianggap sebagai miskin, that will be one of our target to make sure that they will be lifted from poverty. Agak sedih kalau kita negeri maju tapi masih ada rakyat yang fall into that category.
Uga, who is also the chairman of the BDDA steering committee, said this in a press conference after officiating the 3rd BDDA development workshop today. Meanwhile, native customary rights land in the area have the potential to be utilized for carbon trading. The matter is in the midst of fine-tuning with Sarawak Premier Dato' Padinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
That is a potential because ada beberapa kawasan kita tidak mengalahkan tuan punya tanah untuk untuk practice shifting cultivation. Kerana shifting cultivation mana dia tebang pokok, bakar, so dia pokok habis. So if they don't for more experience, kalau dia left follow for few years, pokok tu akan naik besar, jaga, and tree is known to be a carbon storage. They emit oxygen and they store carbon. So I'm talking to the Premier how to make sure at the same time, this NCR landowner can benefit from the new economy of carbon trading.
He also urged landowners to support the initiative for further participation in carbon trading.
Meanwhile, UGA said cooperation between the government and the people is crucial in developing BETONG. He said the development being done by the government is to benefit the people, and this could not be done solely through development projects alone.
We need the cooperation of the people, because the people is the main factor. Buat jalan raya, buat listrik, buat air, senang. Ada duit, ada kontraktor, jalan. But we want to raise their livelihood. We can give them anak ayam, we can give them the fertilizer, or we can give them subsidy for well pump, or for paper, or perahu untuk tangkap ikan. They have to go and tangkap ikan. And then they have to play their part. Everybody got to cooperate. I think that our Tengah was looking at land issue. Jadi kita minta juga lah, kalau ada bina jalan raya, if the land has to be acquired, kita minta dia orang sama bekerjasama. So, a cooperation between the government and the people, support the people. This is for them. Dia yang akan mendapat faedah. Dapat pendapatan bertambah, dapat peluang, dapat kehidupan yang lebih baik, anak dapat sekolah. So, saya bersetuju.
He said this in support of the statement released by fellow Deputy Premier Dato' Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan regarding the rapid development in Samarahan Division following continuous cooperation between the government and the people. Now, Malaysia and Indonesia will meet with the European Union, EU, to discuss the prevailing issue bogging down the palm oil industry in the region. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Fadilah Yusof said, together with his Indonesian counterpart Erlangga Hartarto, the two countries will meet with the EU at the end of May.
By end of May, we'll be meeting up with our counterpart in Europe, and hopefully we'll have a good session there to explain to them what are the practices in Malaysia and Indonesia, what are the standards that we have developed, to what extent compliance has been there, and what else we can do so that we can meet the middle ground.
Fadilah said the meeting will be a focal point for the international community concerning the environment and human rights, and to refine the practices in Malaysia to international standards. The Human Rights Due Diligence HRDD should not be seen as a burden, but rather as an advantage for businesses, especially the palm oil industry. Deputy Prime Minister Dato' Sri Fadilah Yusof said HRDD is a key tool to support responsible business practices and ensure that Malaysia is a preferred destination for migrant workers, noting that it has been adopted in the legislations of other countries to which Malaysian businesses export their goods. Speaking at the People Positive Palm Pea Tree Project workshop on Tuesday, Fadilah, who is also the Plantation and Commodities Minister, said HRDD allows Malaysian businesses to lead by example, enhancing their resilience and securing the exportability of their products globally, noting that it will address the root causes of forced labor in a sustainable and structural manner. He said it is the government's duty to protect human rights while encouraging economic growth and the responsibility of businesses to observe all laws and regulations, adding that positive practices will help businesses deliver positive and sustainable outcomes for their workers by increasing their well-being as well as improving productivity and resilience for their businesses.
With institutional partners such as the International Labour Organization, International Organization for Migration, and United Nations Development Programme, the Government of Malaysia will continue to strengthen its efforts to support a people-positive approach. This includes collaborative efforts in learning and training, as well as developing people-positive policies and action plans, ensuring no one is left behind, including smallholders.
He said the government has already implemented the National Action Plan on Forced Labor and the planned launch of the National Action Plan on Business and Human Rights, which will help to ensure that the palm oil industry in Malaysia can be an example for other industry transformations. Meanwhile, nearly 80% of the labor shortage in the plantation industry has been resolved so far, with the remainder to be addressed immediately. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof said that the issue remains a challenge in certain parts of the country, especially in Sarawak.
So I think it's almost at 80% now coming in. But the challenge will be in certain part, for example, Sarawak, certain areas, because in Sarawak, they're not receiving or accepting Bangladesh to work in Sarawak. So definitely there'll be challenge in getting more Indonesian to come in. But as far as process and procedures are concerned, in terms of application approval, it has almost 100% achieved.
He said the challenge to bring in people from the origin countries was due to their practices, rules and regulations that are beyond the Malaysian government's control. Similarly, Fadillah stressed the importance of Malaysia engaging the international communities as well as meeting the regional and international standards and practices. He said the international standards must be recognized for industry players to fulfill the expectations of those buying Malaysian products or services. We'll be taking a short break, but coming up right after, the first innovative smart residential to be built in Sarawak. Plus, North Korea fires more missiles. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned.
Teknologi robotik yang direka untuk membantu pemulihan berpotensi meningkatkan kecekapan dan kebolehampuan terapi. Justru, kepada mereka yang mengalami masalah neurologi, kini anda mempunyai pilihan terbaru yang boleh membantu anda dalam mempercepatkan proses pemulihan melalui terapi robotik.
Sebab memang mula-mula dia memang jalan tak betul, semua tak bagus. Bila dah menggunakan robotik, dia boleh berjalan dengan cantik.
Saksikan laporan penuh evolusi rawatan fizioterapi 15 Mac ini hanya di saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Welcome back. An upcoming housing project in Semarang will be the first innovative smart residential in Sarawak to utilize the net energy metering, or the NEM scheme. Minister of Utilities and Telecommunications Dato' Julaihi Nurawi said the 15-unit house will be equipped with solar PV installation that will be connected to the Sarawak electricity grid, based on the NEM scheme guidelines that were introduced by the ministry in August 2021.
Skim NEM, Net Energy Metering, merupakan satu mekanisme pengambilan bagi pengguna solar PV menjana dan mengeksport kembali tenaga elektrik ke grid elektrik berdasarkan perimbangan one-on-one offset. Ini bermakna 1 kilowatt-jam yang diekspor ke grid akan diimbangi dengan 1 kilowatt-jam yang digunakan daripada grid ini. Ini akan mengurangkan bil elektrik para pengguna.
He said this at the NEM scheme launching ceremony in Petrojaya earlier today. Julaihi added the solar PV system with cumulative generation of 244 kilowatt peak, or KWP, will be installed in the housing area. The amount of power that will be exported to the grid is estimated to reach up to 279,000 kilowatt hours per year. Meanwhile, asked to comment on Deputy Education Minister Lim Hui Ying's remark on the limited degree of digital device ownership and internet connectivity to implement any move towards digital textbooks, Julaihi said the effort towards building telecommunication towers is ongoing.
That's why kita sedang mensasarkan, seboleh-bolehnya kita mensasarkan 7,000 menara telekomunikasi di seluruh Sarawak. Dan kita telah dapat membina sehingga kini more than 50% menara telekomunikasi di seluruh Sarawak, and some are still ongoing.
Julaihi also revealed that Sarawak at the moment lacks trained manpower for the installation of telecommunication equipment on the towers in Sarawak.
Sekarang Sarawak 70% daripada erectors ini adalah daripada luar Sarawak. Hanya 30% sahaja adalah erectors yang asalnya daripada Sarawak. Maknanya we are shortage of manpower.
Providing a support system for women entrepreneurs is essential to empower their participation in commerce. Hence, with the establishment of One-Stop Collection Center OSCC, it will serve as a catalyst for micro women entrepreneurs among the P40 group category to obtain the required capital injections.
We want to provide them a support system. We want to make sure kita nak pastikan mereka dapat ditingkatkan dari segi darjat mereka daripada yang biasa kepada luar biasa. Dan kita nak pastikan ini juga menjadi satu tempat tarikan pelancong, di mana kalau di bawah ini nanti ada akan diletakkan showcase produk-produk. Ya. Jadi showcase produk-produk, dan di sini juga tempat untuk mengadakan taklimat, dan juga boleh diadakan tempat untuk demonstrasi bagaimana produk itu dihasilkan, supaya ianya menjadi satu added value kepada yang hendak membelinya, melihat.
She further explained that OSCC initially focused on micro-entrepreneurs registered under the Social Welfare Department, and has expanded its services to other micro-entrepreneurs registered under other agencies to better market their products in accordance with current market demand.
So we know that it can be done, and we are giving a better support system now. Well, insyaAllah with the right MP, iaitu project manager ni nanti untuk operasi ini, that mereka ini dapat dibantu secara profesional, diberi pendedahan secara profesional, dan insyaAllah dengan cara demikian daripada yang biasa kepada mereka boleh menjadi usahawan yang luar biasa yang boleh membanggakan kita, menaikkan nama Sarawak ini.
Fatima told this to reporters after visiting the center on Tuesday, March 14. She further revealed that once the center starts operating by early January 2024, The facility will be able to house 30 incubators and double off as a one-stop facility for the integration of collection, packaging, grading, promotion, sales, entrepreneurial incubators, technical assistance, supervision, and consultation. The government is predicting an increase in Malaysia's gross domestic product (GDP) this year, and ensuring the goal to reduce its deficit is achieved. One key factor for the increased revenue, said Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, is the 1.8 billion ringgit payment received from the International Petroleum Investment Company, or IPIC, within 2023. Additionally, the government has yet to spend billions of ringgit like last year for various measures to combat COVID-19.
Yang penting dikira juga ialah bahawa dalam kumpulan wang COVID-19 itu 2022 kita belanja 31 bilion ringgit. Untuk tahun ini kita tidak belanja apa-apa lagi untuk COVID. Jadi hasil untuk 2023 dijangka melebihi kerana saya seperti saya tekankan dari wang dana IPIC itu 1.8 bilion dolar Amerika. Jadi bagi kerajaan jumlah ini adalah menusabah.
Anwar was answering a question prompted by Sungai Petani Parliament member Dr. Mohamed Taufik Johari during the morning session of the Parliament sitting on Tuesday. On top of that, Anwar said Malaysia will be able to reduce its deficit even further as the government will be paying a one-off payment for One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB amounting to 13.5 billion ringgit.
Dan satu hal yang lain yang masuk dalam 2023 ialah wang 1MDB yang harus dibayar 3 bilion dolar tahun ini. Itu sekitar 13.5 bilion ringgit. Tetapi ini one off. Tahun depan 13 bilion itu tidak termasuk dalam perkiraan. Jadi maknanya defisit akan jauh lebih kurang.
Apart from the expected GDP, the Prime Minister gave insights on the RAHMAH cash assistance of 1,300 ringgit will be given to eligible families, and those in the hardcore category will receive an additional 600 ringgit.
Malaysians who fall victim to overseas job scam syndicates are mostly from the rural areas, the Dewan Rakyat was told earlier today. Deputy Home Minister Dato Sri Dr. Shamsul Anwar Nasara said the victims are deceived by syndicates through various methods, which include advertisements via social media.
He added upon arrival at their destination, the victim were forced to work for scam syndicates. Samsul said this in reply to a supplementary question from Dato Muhammad Isam Muhammad Isa in regards to the syndicate's modus operandi and their target group during the question for oral answers session in the Dewan Rakyat today. He continues saying that there were some of them who only realized they had been cheated when they arrived in the country involved, and there were others who already knew about their jobs, but when they failed to meet the target set by the concerned party, they started experiencing unexpected difficulties. Thus, Shamsul Anwar advised to all Malaysians who accept job offers abroad to comply with the local employment laws and regulation first and to ensure that the job offer is legitimate.
Now on to foreign development. Japan has published yet another warning about North Korea's missile testing that was fired off its east coast at about 6:40 a.m. Malaysia time. Japan's Chief Cabinet Secretary Hirokazu Matsuno said there is a possibility that North Korea will step up further provocation.
As we have stated in the past, we think that there is a possibility that North Korea will step up further provocative actions, including missile launches and conducting nuclear tests. With regards to North Korea's military movements, we will continue to cooperate closely with the United States and South Korea, collect and analyze necessary information, and make an utmost effort on being alert and monitoring the situation so that we can take all possible measures for peace and safety of our country.
The missile launches came after the United States conducted its largest joint military drill in many years. However, it was reported that the drill by the US and its allies was undertaken when North Korea had fired 2 missiles from a submarine 2 days prior, which is less than a week after Kim Jong-un, North Korea's president, ordered its military forces to intensify military drills if a real war were to erupt.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. Right, and that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. My name is Douglas Halit. Thank you for watching and good night.
Takkanlah tak kenal sekilas ikan di air, kita tahulah jantan betina je.
Isu Madani sudah, Kementerian Kemajuan Desa dan Wilayah sudah, dan kali ini kita nak beralih kepada politik pula.
Politik? Dia minta pula saya letak jawatan. Ini apa dia logik politik? Minister dengan Najib jangan pernah mencapai saya.
Saksikan Dialog TVS eksklusif bersama Timbalan Perdana Menteri Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi pada 17 Mac 2023 jam 11.15 pagi hanya di TVS.
Aduh Fatah, macam itu Fatah. Barang kami order lain, sampainya lain. Kami tu berguna macam ni hak kami nak melapor.
Okey, bertenang.
Mana store?
Esok hari kita ada topik yang mantap. Bersesuaianlah dengan masalah Wan Alif yang hadapi kini tu berkenaan dengan kesedaran hak pengguna dan macam ni nak melindungi diri.
Dan topik yang kedua kita nak angkat tentang Hari Pengguna Kebangsaan 2023 dengan temanya Pengguna Berdaya, Negara Rahmah Sejahtera, segalanya dalam sejahtera Asia. Esok pada Inspirasi
kami cetuskan inovasi.
Jumpa esok. Bye. Salam.
Daripada Inspirasi, kami cetuskan inovasi.